Hello dog lovers. In this live video I'm going to talk about dogs. I'm going to try to answer questions, and I'm going to also go through some dog behavioral psychology that every dog owner needs to know. So stay tuned throughout the live session because it's going to be exciting, and I'm going to talk about also some of the new updates that are coming up within the channel, and all kinds of news and information that you need to know about dogs. So I'm ready to take in questions, but I wanted to start with the idea that many dog owners are facing in this day and age is that they're having a hard time with their dogs, and I want to explain and let you know what is the main reason why dogs are misbehaving. And there's a simple reason why that happens, and I'm going to talk about it very shortly. And I can see that Portia Jones in the house, and Happy Locks is in the house as well. Portia is saying, thank you for all that you do. You are very welcome. Thank you for being here, and you are very welcome. Greetings. I'm doing very well, Happy Locks. It's a summer day here, and it's nice and warm in this part of the world. By the way, let me know where are you located, where you're located, and let me know which part of this beautiful world are you from. So I know I have many viewers from all over the world, which is amazing, and it's exciting, and it's very overwhelming actually. Luxembourg, yes, there we go. North Carolina, USA, very well. Oh wow, from all over the world. Yeah, that is very interesting. There are dog lovers from all over the world. Yes. Thank you very much. Joseph Moon is in the house too. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Yes, feel free to ask your dog-related questions, and I'm going to answer them all. And meanwhile, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. One of them is to understand why is it that dogs misbehave in general. There's a main reason why dogs misbehave. Now, misbehavior could be, you can name it to anything. If a dog is pulling on the leash, if it's barking, if it's jumping on people, if it's digging, if it's aggression, especially if it's aggression, if it's all kinds of digging a hole and things like that. All of these behaviors, I call it bad behavior. We can call it bad behavior. All of these bad behaviors, the main reason why all these things happen is because of stress. Believe it or not, is stress. It's stress that causes dogs to behave that way. And why is it stress? Because stress is number one cause of all the bad behaviors and also health issues as well. This is very known in human world as well. Stress is very effective in our behavior, in our daily life and everything that we do. So number one reason why dogs behave the way they do is stress. And I'll go a little bit in details as well why stress is related to all these behaviors. We have JL in the house as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do. How do I stop my 1-year-old Yorkie from eating his and only his poop for the past 6 months? Thank you. JL, this is a very common question and also a very good question. How old is your Yorkie? 1-year-old. Okay, 1-year-old. So it's not a puppy anymore, and the reason I think it's doing that behavior and is eating its own poop, I mostly believe it's diet related. There are two reasons. There are two main reasons that happen. One is diet related, and the other one is behavioral. Let's explore the diet issue. Diet and health, internal health of a dog could cause dogs to, want to eat poop. Poop is basically either is digested or not digested, right? So when they don't digest properly their food, they tend to eat it just to make sure that they are, first of all, digesting it again, and second of all, they're lacking some nutrients from the food that they're eating, so therefore they want to replace it by eating their own poop or other dogs' poop. So it's mainly they're lacking some form of nutrients in their food. So usually this happens when the food that you're feeding your dog, it's lacking something. So what I usually suggest is start adding some fresh food, vegetables, maybe fresh meat, fresh raw meat. Add some nutritional yeast in their food. Nutritional, if you know what nutritional yeast is, add some omega oil, or add some fresh food to your dog's food, and keep an eye on the behavior to see if they're still eating or not. Because if you start adding some fresh food to your dog's current food, then the part that is lacking in their nutrition, it will be replaced hopefully, and you'll find out what exactly that is. So for example, you can add fresh greens, a little bit of fresh meat, ground meat like chicken, ground beef, a little bit, just add to their food. Nutritional yeast, just add it and see how they are, right? So you're just basically testing to see what is lacking in their nutrition and their diet, so to replace it. That's one. That's the diet part of it. Now the other one is behavior. Behavior is one of them. Let me see if you explained. I'm not sure if your Yorkie is a female or a male. Usually females, they tend to eat poop is because it's a mother nature thing. They're cleaning up basically. He's a male. Okay, so that usually happens with the females, but some males do that too. It's just the parentship comes in, and they tend to clean up the place. So it's mainly for instinctual thing that they do it, because they want to clean up the den, clean up the house. They don't want you to see it. The other thing is that they may have gotten used to the idea of eating poop. So what you want to do is, as soon as you don't let your dog go and do its business, in the yard, and then you're in the house. So try to supervise and take them for a walk for a few weeks, maybe, just to stop them from repeating that behavior, repeating of eating their poop. So make sure that you're always supervising. You're not letting your Yorkie eat its own poop. Pick it up right away. If there are any in the yard, just pick them up, clean it up, and see if it's going to get better. JL, he's a male, and he eats canine caviar, pure kibble food without grains, pure lamb, fish, chicken, etc. So kibble, yes, usually also dogs who are on kibble tend to eat their own poop too, because they're lacking a lot of nutrients and nutritions from their food. So definitely add some fresh food and see the difference. So that would be my answer to this situation. Yes, so it could be diet related, health related, it could be behavioral related. So in both ways you want to kind of figure it out and address them. Thank you for the question. Fur Dog 195 is in the house. Thank you for being in the live chat. And hello, Saro. Myself and my fiance may adopt a dog soon. What would be the best way to pick a vet for a dog once we adopt? This is a very good question. When it comes to your vet, I suggest you to have uh, a lot of education about dogs and dog health in general, so you're not 100% dependent on your vet. You want to get some feedback from your vet, but most of the decisions has to be made by you. If you know what I mean. I want you to make most of the decisions, and you ask your vet to follow those decisions. So when it comes to a vet, you want to make sure that your vet you are very comfortable to have conversations and talks with your vet. You don't want your vet to be overpowering you. You don't want your vet to be telling you what to do, and you gotta do this, and you gotta buy this, you gotta do that. You don't want that relationship. You want to have a vet that tells you, I suggest you to do this if you feel comfortable, and here's what my take is, and here's what I want you to do. So have that conversation line open with your vet, so you're not being forced to buy their products and being forced to do exactly what they want you to do. You want to have some information, so you can watch a lot of videos on my channel and get informed about dogs. I have a lot of health related videos as well. Get some information behind you, and then ask your vet and talk about these topics and different topics with your vet. What do you think? And let them give you their opinion. Okay. And the other tip that I have when it comes to vets, I want you to shop around. Go and visit and interview three vets, and tell them, I'm getting a dog, or I have a dog, and I'm interviewing vets to decide which vet I'm going to select. Be honest with them. If they don't like it, then that's a sign that they're not ideal vets, and they shouldn't be your vet. If they are open-minded and they're thinking about you and your dog, they will say, that's a very good choice that you're making, and that's a very good option. I really like it, and I agree with it, and I want you to, yes, choose me as your vet. So interview them, and go through three vets, and out of three, pick one, the one that your gut and your heart says that it's the right one. So I hope that answers your question, Fur Dog 195. Porsche. Yes, that was question from Fur Dog 195. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Linda Denny is in the house, and thank you for being in here live. And we're going to go through the next question, which is from Portia Jones. I'm getting my first golden retriever puppy in a couple of months. What is your suggestion of training and raising puppy? He or she will be my service dog in training. So this is amazing. Yes, it's amazing that you're getting a service dog. That is something that, it's really niche oriented, is very targeted. A service dog, you have to be really careful that that puppy is ideal for being a service dog. So it has to be selected. I hope you have selected a puppy who's ideal for being service dog. Service dog training in general is very, very much the same idea that I follow. You guys are following on my channel. They look at the dog to connect you with a dog that will match with you, and it's very important to be matched. You want to make sure that that puppy is, first of all, ideal to be doing service dog related tasks, first of all, and it's very human oriented. It's very connectable and very attached to the human, and all these things. So when it comes to service dog training, or overall in general, if you want to train a puppy, is you take your time. You take your time to get to know the puppy. A few months. You have to invest few months to get to know the puppy, to see if this puppy is the right puppy for you. If you can connect with the puppy, give time for the puppy to connect with you, train. And when it comes to training a puppy in general, I just did a video recently. My past few videos have been mainly about puppies. So if you have time, go ahead and watch them. But one of the main tips is that when it comes to puppy, you shouldn't have any expectations. When it comes to training a puppy, you shouldn't have any expectations. So what I mean by that is, you shouldn't expect them to listen to you and do what you're asking it to do, or everything is not going to go as planned, because you need time for the puppy to learn and understand, and then go and do the task you're asking it to do. So from the time that you're starting to teach to time that they give you the results that you want, it may take months. So don't rush. Take your time, step by step. Teach them one thing at a time, and don't rush. Don't make them feel that you're just telling them what to do. Remember, you're building a relationship. That's the main thing. If you build a relationship with a puppy, which is going to take time, you will get the best results. You will get the most amazing results if you build a relationship. If you build a connection with the puppy, that puppy will do anything for you for free. Yes, for free. You don't have to give them anything. You don't have to offer them anything. You would be the best reward for a puppy. So those are my tips. So take your time. Don't rush. Build a great connection, a relationship with the puppy. Take your time, months maybe, and then see the results that are going to pay off in a few months. And make sure also that that puppy is suitable to be service dog. Not all dogs and puppies are suitable to be service dog. There are certain dogs that they do really good job of being in that state of mind, but there are dogs that they don't do. They can't be service dogs. So there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that the tasks that we're asking them to do is either it's not their favorite, or they're not into it, right? So you can't force a dog to do something. So hopefully that answers your question, Portia. As I said, I have lots of videos about puppy training on my channel. If you do a search on my channel, you're going to get not only a playlist, but so many videos about puppies that I also have recently uploaded on my channel. So take your time and go through them. We have Linda Denny is asking, how do I keep my doggy from running from me? I take him for scheduled walks every day. Okay. Linda, can you tell me how old is your doggy? I'm assuming you're taking your doggy for a walk and you're off leashing your dog and it just takes off, right? I think that's the situation. Portia Jones is saying, thank you so much, Saro. I will totally look on your YouTube channel with puppy training. The important tip is to have a bond with the puppy. Yes, that is the main key, main secret to having a good puppy, having a good dog, having a good results out of the training. If you have a good relationship with your puppy, if you have a good bond, if you have a healthy and a relationship that is not depending on things, that is the best. And you can build that. It just takes time. You just have to work on it. And all the best wishes for you, Portia. Hopefully everything is going to be as you planned, and hopefully you will get a great puppy. So Linda, to go back to your question, most of the time when a dog is running from you, running away from you, if you off leash a dog and your dog takes off, that means that that dog is not ready to be off leash. That's the very simple test and very simple cue that you get from your dog. Once you off leash your dog and your dog takes off, that's a sign, clear sign, that that dog is not ready to be off leashed yet. Many dog owners make this mistake of off leashing their dog too early or too soon when the dog is not ready to be off leashed. It takes steps and it takes time for a puppy or a dog to go from being on leash to off leash. And you want to be focusing on off leash training your dog as well. It's not only to leash train a dog, you want to focus on off leash training your dog too. So there are steps that you need to take before you feel comfortable to off leash your dog. And the steps are: you work on leash for at least a year before you off leash a dog. Yes, a year is the time period that you need to get your dog to go from on leash to off leash. And during that year, you bulletproof the behaviors that you want, plus you bulletproof the leash walk itself. So if you invest a year to leash train your dog, after a year, when you off leash your dog is not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay right there, because your dog is going to automatically be connected to you physically and mentally. Is going to be invisibly on leash connected to you. So as soon as you off leash the dog says, this is the best place that I want to be. I don't want to be over there, I want to be over here with you. So that's a sign that your dog is ready to be off leashed, right? So you go from leash training, 6-foot leash, you work on 6-foot leash, and then you go to 12-foot leash, and then you go to longer 35-foot leash throughout the year. And then after a year, you start off leash training your dog. What that means is your dog is on a long leash, but you do everything that you do. You go for a hike, you go for a walk, you go for training, everything that you do, it's on a long leash, and you see if your dog is giving you the same results as it was giving you when it was on 6-foot or 12-foot. And if it does, you know that this dog is ready to be off leash. And the last thing is, during this year, many dog owners, they feel bad having their dog on a leash. And I guarantee you, the worst thing that you can do to a dog is off leashing it too early. Many dog owners feel bad that they're keeping their dog on a leash, but I guarantee you, they feel more secure and more confident when you have them on leash. Yes, in the beginning it's hard to have them on leash because they're not familiar being on leash. You're not comfortable having your dog on leash, and it's mostly emotional from human part that they feel emotionally. You feel bad. You feel that you're torturing your dog. You feel like you're confining your dog. You're not giving too much freedom to your dog. You feel all these negative things when you have your dog on a leash. So therefore you start off leashing your dog too early when they are not ready, and that's because you're depending on your emotions to make that decision. And when you make decisions with your emotions, most of the time you make the wrong choice. So think of it of logical part rather than emotional. Logically, you have to be understanding that your dog needs to go through these steps in order to be off leash, and it's very important to take that time. Whether you have a puppy or you have an adult dog already, or you're going to adopt a dog, or you have adopted the dog, or you just got a dog, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. For the first year, you want to keep that dog on a leash without having any emotional attachment to the idea that I'm not giving freedom to a dog. When you give too much freedom, too soon to a dog, you're adding more stress to your dog. So remember, in the beginning of the show, I was talking about number one reason why dogs have behavioral issue. For example, they eat poop, or take off as soon as you off leash them, or all kinds of issues that we're having is stress related. The stress is causing them to do something that is unwanted behavior from human point of view. From dog's point of view, that behavior that they're giving you is very normal and is very natural. But from human point of view, it seems like a bad behavior. You have to understand that the bad behavior that your dog is giving you is because of stress. Number one reason why dogs misbehave or give you the behavior that you want is stress related. And I'll talk about it a little bit more in details. Let me see. Linda Denny has a follow-up. I don't mind at all with my 1.5-year-old Chihuahua on leash. I'd rather walk him that way. He'll take off if the gate isn't latched. He won't come back when I call him. Okay, so this is another issue. So when a door is open and the dog sees that opportunity to take off as well, that's a sign also that, again, it's stress related. Let me connect it how it's stress related. So the reason a dog chooses to go out and do things outside or not be with you, there's a reason. Because they are physically and mentally not stimulated. You have to stimulate your dog daily enough that they are physically and mentally stimulated. This is very important. Most dog owners forget that. I also repeat this on my channel, that dogs need daily 5 essential needs. You need to provide these daily 5 essential needs for your dog, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and also affection. If you provide these 5 things for your dog is going to be much more relaxed and happier. So if you provide for your Chihuahua, for instance, even though it's older Chihuahua, they still need their 5 daily essential needs being provided, but in different levels, right? Different amount. You still have to provide those. So if you provide enough physical and mental stimulation, the dog is going to be happy and satisfied. And if the gate door is open, they would say, you know what, I've got all my mental and physical stimulation, and I don't need to do it anymore. I'm good. I'm gonna just chill out here. Even the gate is open. So for instance, I have a beagle, and I have a gate as well, and sometimes we forget to latch it, close it. So he's just walking around. He doesn't have to go out. He doesn't have to wander out, because first of all, the best place for him is in the house. Second of all, he is physically and emotionally stimulated, so he doesn't need those stimulation. So he is happy. And let me see. I just got a follow-up question from Wonder in Blanket. Wonder in Blanket. Cool. Thank you for being in here. And it's asking, can you define what you mean by socialization, please? So yes. So because I'm continuing on this, I just explained that a dog's 5 essential needs are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. So let me go through them quickly so you know exactly what is what. Exercise is mainly physical exercise, physical stimulation. So that could be walk, could be play, could be any physical activity that you do with your dog. They need at least 30 minutes twice a day, right? At least you got to provide 30 minutes twice a day, which is 1 hour in total. I recommend not to do 1 hour at once, because it's just physically and emotionally and mentally it's just too much for a dog to go through 1 hour exercise. So you want to break it down to 2 half an hours. So break it down to 2 half an hours twice a day. That's exercise. Training is mostly mental stimulation. So mental stimulation is very important. Training it teaches the dog to not only use its brain and mind. You can use training to teach your dog behaviors that you want. You remove the unwanted behaviors and replace it with wanted behaviors. You teach your dog to communicate with you. There are so many benefits into training. So training is mental stimulation. So as I said, exercise is physical stimulation, training is mental stimulation. Now you got to focus 30% of your daily activity and energy on physical stimulation and 70% on mental stimulation. Most dog owners, they make this mistake. They do a lot of physical stimulation, 60, 70, 80, 100% physical stimulation, and very little mental stimulation. So focus on more mental stimulation. The next thing is socialization. Socialization is a mental stimulation, mostly. What it is you want to ask your dog to learn social skills with you, with your family members, with public, with dogs, with cars, with bikes, with sounds, scents, vision, everything. You want to expose your dog to everything that you can, in a way that the dog says, you know what, if I hear a bike, for example, passes by, I'm okay with it. There's nothing wrong with that. If a kid runs around once in a while, or all of a sudden a kid passes by and screams and things like that, you want your dog to be comfortable about that. That's a socialization. You want your dog to say, I've seen kids, I've seen bikes, I've seen cars, I've seen fireworks, I've seen man with a hat, I've seen man with a stick, I've seen men who run, and I've seen women who do jogging, whatever. I've seen them all, and they're all okay, and I don't mind them. So you want to expose your dog as much as you can to everything and anything that is possibly possible for you to expose them, so your dog has a better understanding and also have a better way of dealing with them. The next thing is care. So exercise, training, socialization, care. Care is providing a good care for your dog, providing good, healthy, balanced, natural, species appropriate diet, brushing your dog. So what is natural, species appropriate diet? Can you guess what that is? Let me know if you know what is natural, species appropriate dog diet in the comments area. If you know what that is, I'll let you know what that is. But you want to provide good, grooming for your dog, good shelter, good bed, good collar, and things like that. You want to provide all these, vet, all kinds of things. Yes, wandering blanket. Yes, I assume raw diet is what you're referring to. Yes, exactly. Raw diet is a natural species appropriate diet. So if you provide that, you're providing a great care for your dog. So exercise, training, socialization, care, and then we come to affection. The last thing a dog needs is affection. And I always say, that's the last thing a dog needs, not the first thing. Most dog owners focus on affection rather than exercise. So focus on affection at the end, when you have provided enough exercise, training, socialization, proper care, and then it's time to share affection with your dog. If you share affection with your dog, when you have provided everything else, your dog is not only going to benefit from it, but also you're rewarding your dog. You're using affection as a reward to your dog, that everything that you've been doing so far and everything that I have provided for you, you've done great. You went for a nice walk, you didn't pull on the leash, you didn't bark at strangers. We saw strangers and you didn't get scared, or you didn't bark at them. We did good training session and you did everything that I asked you to do, and you had your breakfast or your lunch or your dinner, and now it's time to share affection. And you share affection and you use affection as a reward. So if your dog does something, you reward it with affection. That is the most valuable reward for your dog, to share, to have you share affection with them. The most loving dog owner in the world sharing affection with their dog is the best benefit and best reward. I hope that made sense. So those are the 5 daily essential needs that you need to provide for your dog, which are, again, one more time: exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. And you want to provide these 5 daily essentials every day for your dog. You can repeat this 3, 4, 5 times a day. So once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening, once at night. So that's 4 times a day. Let's see. Where was I? So Fur Dog 195 is in the house. Thank you for being here. I have helped raise several dogs in my lifetime. I do have some experience with dogs, but do I look for anything specific? Thank you for the feedback, and a new viewer on your channel. Thank you for being a new viewer, and thank you for being part of the community. I hope you have subscribed to my channel, and you also have hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video, or even if I go live. So this is a little bit interesting question that you're asking. You have experience with dog, but what to look for anything specific when it comes to dogs? In general, what I want you to focus on is, this is something that is the main focus of my channel. I want you to understand that dogs are not treat motivated, food motivated. Unlike we've been bombarded with this information that dogs are food or treat motivated, I want you to stop using treats or food as motivator or as a reward for your dog. I want you to change the way you look at dogs and dog training when it comes to your next dog or your current dog. Your dog values you more than anything else, because you're the provider. You're the one who provides, exercise, training, socialization, care and affection, shelter, food, love, everything. You provide life for your dog. You know what I mean? That is something that you have to really understand. Without any choices that you make with your dog cannot make any choices. You're the one who makes all the choices. You're the one who tells your dog where to do, what to do, how to live, what to have, what not to have. Your dog is very dependent on you. So When you have a relationship like that, when a dog is so dependent on you and it's so focused on you, they invest 100% in you. What I mean is they invest 100% in your relationship that you are creating with your dog. Um, so when they are so focused on you, so when they are so invested in you, that is the best relationship that you have with any individual, actually any dog. So you want to understand that your dog is, you are everything for your dog, and your dog is very dependent on you. So when a dog is dependent on you and is so connected to you, you can ask your dog to do anything for free. You don't have to actually physically, or uh, physically you don't have to reward them. You can just being living with them and them living with you, it's a reward itself. And when you understand this, it changes the whole concept of dog training and our relationship with our dogs, and it makes you to value the relationship more than anything else, more than food, more than treats, more than the best treat in the world, best food in the world. So I want you to take one thing out of this live show, is that you are everything for your dog. That's the best reward for your dog. You are everything. So understanding this changes everything. I hope that gives you a good understanding of um, you know that's what you want to look for when it comes to your next dog, right? Let me see, JL. Okay, so JL has a question. Please advise how to calm my 1-year puppy to enjoy a 10-minute ride to the walk trail. He wants to go for a walk but cries and barks the whole time in the car. Okay, so this is, I understand what happening. So before your puppy, before your dog goes for a walk, it's excited, and when it's in the car also it's excited because it's going to a park. So what happens here is the park is more valuable than everything else. So you want to bring the value of the park down. So the way you do it is you exercise mentally and physically your puppy before you go for a walk. So what you do is, uh, invest at least 10 to 15 minutes to play with your dog at home or in the backyard or wherever it's possible. Play with your puppy or dog for 10-15 minutes to bring that excitement level down, that energy level down. And then if you go in the car, let's say, so that's part one, to work on to bringing that excitement down, that energy level down. Part two is in the car. If your dog gets excited in the car, then that's a sign that you didn't do enough in the beginning. So you want to add a little bit more, maybe 5 more minutes, add 5 more minutes. See if the energy level of the car ride goes down. So you don't want to take your dog excited to the park. You want to make sure that the excitement level is down before getting to the park. So the way you do it is you work before you get to the park. So the way I usually say to look into it is, let's say you want to take your dog for an hour walk, for a half an hour walk, right? And you're behind the door and you're waiting for your dog to calm down behind the door before you open the door, right? So your dog is very excited to go for a walk, and you open the door and your dog takes off, right? So you work on, either by playing with them or training them or whatever it takes you to bring their energy level down. Bring that energy level down and wait until your dog calms down before you open the door. So if your dog gets excited and you open the door, it takes off, that's a sign that, okay, it's not ready. You gotta work more, you gotta play more, you gotta train more. So you do that until your dog's energy level is nice and low. And if it takes, let's say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes for that energy level to go down, and then you open the door and your dog doesn't take off, then you go for a 5 minutes walk and come back. So this 25 minutes investment that you made to bring that energy level down, it's more important than the walk itself. So in my opinion, I want you to focus on more on quality rather than quantity. Instead of going for, an excited walk and barking and being all that nervous and all that, focus on how can I help my dog to calm down before we go for a walk. So focus on exercising the dog's brain, mentally and physically before you go for a walk. So focus on that and see the results. So I hope that makes sense. So invest more in training and stimulating your dog mentally and physically before you get to the car and then to the park. So from the home to park, it may take you a little bit work, but every day that you do that for the next, let's say, a week or two, if you focus on this, every day is going to get easier. So first day it may take you 25 minutes to calm your dog down. The second day 20 minutes. The third day maybe 15 minutes. The fifth day it may take you 5 minutes, but invest on breaking it down until you get the results that you want. I hope that answers your question, JL. And then he is strapped in a car seat too. So that's a good idea that he's strapped in a car seat. That's a very good, safe option that you want to have, which is very safe. And also it keeps your dog in one spot. It doesn't allow your dog to move around, which is a good idea. And okay, so Wonder in Blanket is asking, how long do you recommend training session with dogs should be? This is a good question. I usually suggest not to be shorter than 15 minutes and not longer than half an hour. 5 minutes is too short, 10 minutes is not enough, 15 minutes is ideal. 15 minutes for any dog, puppy or adult, is good enough. Now, if every dog is different. So if you see that your dog needs more than 15 minutes, you can add a little bit more, 5 or 10 more minutes or even 15 more minutes. But don't go further than half an hour, because after half an hour they get physically and mentally too stimulated, they get too tired that they don't want to do anything. They get really stressed. It becomes stressful after that. It's not fun anymore. So they get a little bit stressed and they don't enjoy that activity anymore. So don't continue on more than half an hour. So stay within 15 minutes to half an hour. Hope that answers your question, Wonder in Blanket. Let me just quickly check if I answered everybody's question. JL. Yes, I answered everybody's question. Good, we're good. You're welcome, Wonder in the Blanket. So the last thing that I want to say here is, remember in the beginning I was talking about stress is number one reason why dogs misbehave, is because if you allow your dog to be too excited or not have enough mental and physical stimulation, and their daily 5 essentials needs are not provided, they will get stressed. So if they get stressed, they usually, they bark because they're telling you, verbally they're telling you that I'm stressed. They may dig, they're physically, they dig, they jump on you, they scratch, they hump, all these things that when they do physically, they're physically also they're telling you that I'm stressed. Okay, So dogs are, unfortunately, they can't have a chat with us. They can't talk to us. So what they do is a conversation. So if they're jumping and they're barking and whining and uh, screaming and moving physically, doing things, whatever physically they're doing, it's a sign and it's a communication to you that they're telling you that they're stressed. So there are many reasons why dogs get stressed, but signs of being stressed are very obvious in general. They bark, they jump, they mark, they pee a lot. If you take, for example, your dog for a walk and constantly your dog is peeing all over the place, that's a sign that your dog is stressed. If your dog is pulling you on the leash, it's a sign that your dog is stressed. If your dog is barking every time sees something, it's a sign that your dog is stressed. If they're telling you verbally and physically, they're communicating all these things to you that I need help. I need to get help from you to distress myself. So how do you distress a dog? As I explained a little bit earlier, you focus on providing your dog's daily 5 essential needs, which is exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. I have videos about these 5 essentials that I've talked about in deep depth, in details. You can always go and watch those videos on my channel. Do a search needs and you will get results. So you focus on these 5 essential needs on a daily basis and you're going to start helping your dog to de-stress. So one of the, for example, common questions that I get is my dog is peeing in the house on my furniture. He didn't used to pee in the house and he's peeing in the house everywhere. So that's a sign that your dog is saying, something is changed, something has happened, either in your personal relationship or in your family structure, or you have made a drastic or even a minor change in your house. Let's say you moved the furniture, you replaced it with a new one, or a family member moved in or moved out. Anything, little things like this. Maybe you got a new dog. Maybe your dog just passed away. Anything can cause dogs to feel emotionally and mentally and in general unbalanced. So they feel bad and they give you those signals by marking, peeing all over the house. So when they're peeing, they're telling you, I need help. So one of the main things that I suggest you to do, and this is the number 1 tip that I give to all dog owners, is keep your dog on leash for the first month, maybe first year if possible, but at least for the first month. If you brought a new dog home or you have your dog and your dog is misbehaving, keep your dog on a leash indoors and outdoors as much as you can, as much as possible, and you'll see that your dog's stress level is going to drastically go down. They just feel comfortable when you take control, when you tell them don't do this, don't do that. Just imagine if you have a dog who's off leash, even in the house, even in their own house, they have so many choices to make. They can go and make so many decisions. But when you leash them and attach them to you and have the leash in your hand and in your control, you're just giving them one choice: to follow you, right? To follow your directions, instead of making so many choices. Automatically, that is going to distress your dog. And once they start understanding that you're helping them, they will automatically change their behavior and distress themselves even further. So number 1 tip that I have is focus on your dog's daily 5 essential needs and keep your dog on leash. I hope you enjoyed this live session. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed and loved your questions, and I want to welcome every one of you that joined the live session. One more time: Portia Jones, Joseph Moon, JL, Linda Denny, Fur Dog 195, Wonder in Blanket. All of you, thank you for being here and asking your question and interacting with me. Hope you enjoyed it and you benefited. And remember, if you want to become an educated dog lover and have a healthy and happy, well-behaved dog, consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I go live or post my next video. Thank you very much. I will see you in 2 weeks. See you then.